to this computer. Okay. Okay. Hello, medical assistant students. All right. We have another dosage calculation here that, like the last video, is a little bit tricky just because there's an additional step that we need to take before we can figure out how much medication we have to give to our patient. So before we begin, let's do what I have been doing and write down our equation. D over H equals X over V, or A equals D over H times Q at a D. All right, so now I got to find out what our information is, our order, what we have on hand, and then our vehicle or our quantity. So the provider orders levothyroxine, otherwise known as Synthroid, and you will see this medication on one of your med card or med activities that you're going to do, because Synthroid for hypothyroidism is actually in the top 10 medications that are commonly prescribed in the United States. I think it's, the last time I looked, it was like number 4 or number 6 or something like that. So very commonly prescribed. So levothyroxine, otherwise known as Synthroid, 0.5 milligrams by mouth, PO, times 1 now. This medication on hand is available in 250 microgram tablets. All right, so the doctor's order, I have 0.5 milligrams, but I have on hand microgram tablets. So before I even figure out what I need to convert one of these numbers to the other. And the way you're going to determine which one you're going to convert to the other is what you have on hand. That's the conversion that you need to convert it to, not the one you ordered, but the one that you actually opened up the cupboard, and this is what I have on hand, so you know how much to give. So that means we need to convert 0.5 milligrams to micrograms and figure out what micrograms we have to give. So your conversions are in your textbook starting on page 48 and 49. And the metric system of this, it's in increments of tens is what it is. So if you go back to learning about the metric system and conversions, it all has to do with just decimal places and where you put the decimal place, and whether you go to the right when you move the decimal place or going to the left when you move the decimal place, or you can do it in multiplying times, 10, 100, 1,000, that type of thing. There is a chart on both, or actually not a chart, it's a table. There's table 3.3 in your textbook, and then there's a table 3.4 in your textbook, and you'll see that there's weight and there's different categories of weight. You have microgram, milligram, gram, and kilogram, and then you have volume, milliliter, cubic centimeter, which honestly is the same thing as a milliliter. You won't see, or you shouldn't see cubic centimeter written so much. They got rid of it a while ago. And then you have liter. There's a little area of a simple version or conversion that shows you how to move the decimal point. On the metric system, gram is your base unit of weight for weights, and then milligram is smaller and microgram is even a smaller unit. There are 3 spaces here in between each of these. So that means when I take my 0.5 milligrams, I just need to move my decimal place over, because I'm going from here to here. I need to move my decimal place over to the right 3 times. So 0.5, I'm going to take my decimal point, 1, 2, 3, and then I add my zeros in there. And it's that simple. Now, if I were to start off at micrograms and I needed to go to milligrams, I would be going to the left. So 250 micrograms to milligrams is, you start your decimal point here, go to the left, 1, 2, 3, and you have to add that preceding 0. So 250 micrograms is 0.25. You don't do the trailing 0 milligrams. So make sure you practice that. You're going to see some of those conversions on your test. But that's how it works. Read in your book. You can even do like Google searches to find out the best way to convert from grams to milligrams to micrograms and back back from micrograms to milligrams. But we're done with this. We found out that this is 500 micrograms. So now we can plug our information into our equations now that we have these both. So doctor's order is 500 micrograms. On hand, we have 250 micrograms equals X times 1 tab. Not that hard, actually. I mean, when you look at this, oh, whoops, did that. Sorry, guys. Trying to move it up here. Nope. There we go. It's not cooperating. I just need more room. So again, we're going to cross off our micrograms, cross multiply 500 tabs equals 250x. Get x by itself. $250 into 500. I mean, you can write it out. 250 into 500 is 2. And this one here, if you wanted to cross off that outer 0, you can cross off the inner 0. You can't cross off anything else because nothing else is the same, and shorten it to 25 into 50, and you'll get the same answer of 2. Same concept. So it's going to be 2 tabs. A equals D over H times Q. So it was 500 micrograms over 250 micrograms times 1 tab. Same concept. You're going to do that division. You're going to get 2 times 1 tab equals 2 tabs. Your answers are exactly the same. It doesn't matter. The biggest thing is that you have to remember that you have to, if you have different dosage is, and the milligrams, micrograms, gram can go to milligram. You will see some medications that are admitted or that are ordered in grams. And so if what you have on hand is in milligrams, you're going to have to convert that. So just make sure you do that conversion before you plug it into your equations. Pay close attention to this the milligram and the microgram, because if you're reading quickly, they look really close to the same. They won't be written out. It'll be in the mg or mcg format. All right, that's done with that one.